Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and that the running plan is going well for you. So just wanted to, for this weekly office hour, talk a little bit about strength training for runners. So I touched a little bit on it in our initial webinar there, but just wanted to talk a little further about it. So a lot of runners I get asking me, why should I do strength training? Like, isn't the running enough? And for the longest time, I definitely subscribed to this and wouldn't take the time to do extra strength training. I would wonder why wasn't really improving a whole lot of my running, or I was improving a fair amount, but would tend to get injured a lot. So this is a main reason why I've added strength to my year, and I'll talk a little bit about how I typically put it into a calendar year for myself to allow it not to affect my running too much, but actually help me throughout the season based on the setup I do. So main reason why we do strength training is running is obviously a very taxing sport. So if we can prevent injuries by strengthening our muscles and connective tissue, that's going to go a long way in helping us perform week over week. And also there's tons of studies that have shown lots of improvements in power. Running is obviously more power you're putting out each stride, probably the quicker and further you're moving with each of those strides. So improved power and coordination. So when it comes down to things like cadence, like I was talking about last week, if you have great coordination, you're going to be able to run that faster cadence, which chances are you're going to be running faster. So in terms of strength training, you don't need to spend loads and loads of time doing strength training. It's you're obviously already making a commitment with the running. So even doing strength training, this routine that I'll give you kind of here at the bottom, like 2 to 3 times a week is definitely more than enough. It only takes 15, 20 minutes to do, and I think it'll go a long way. You'll find that you just feel more solid when you're running, and will definitely have less kind of niggles and little issues when you start your runs each time. So when also to do these, I typically like to put them either after a run or kind of a day in between runs. I definitely don't recommend doing them like right before a run workout, because you'll definitely notice that your legs are sluggish because the exercises definitely can be taxing on you. So you want to give yourself ample recovery on that. And in terms of how I set up my year, so say if I were to look at my year in like 3-4 month blocks, for example. Say if I had a base season, which is kind of my off season as I'm just starting to ramp things up. And then I would have a build season where I'm starting to build fitness, and then a more race specific season. So call it those 3 seasons. So if I was in my base season, which I'm currently in right now, I'm doing strength about 3 times a week, lifting a fair amount of heavy weights these days because I really want to build that foundation that's going to help me when I get into those build and specialty parts of the run season. So I'm right now doing 3 to 4 sessions a week in terms of strength. So yeah, this is my base season, and you can definitely put more in because I'm running a little bit less right now as well. And then as you start to go through those phases, like closing in on your race as you're going, I tend to cut back the strength a little bit. So maybe during that build season, that would be my second block. Maybe I'm only doing 2 to 3 times a week of strength. And then as I'm coming up to a race there, I've kind of already built that foundation. And I find the strength training can slow your legs down a little bit. Especially as I'm leading up to a race, maybe the last couple of weeks, I'm maybe only doing it 1 time per week. In terms of equipment, a lot of the ones I'm going to give you here and demonstrate for you you don't really need any equipment with it, but definitely a set of dumbbells or bands can go a long way and help with kind of resistance. And strength training, it is taxing on the muscles, so I definitely recommend, if you can, a light stretch of especially the areas you worked, plus some protein intake will definitely help you recover quickly from them, especially if you're doing them in between some run days. So just to give you a quick demo on some of these, 1 second here. So I just wanted to give you a quick demo of some of my favorite exercises here. I got a little puppy asleep in the corner there, just got him last week. So upper body, some key ones that I like to do. I just put like 2, 3, or 4 different exercises in each one. So upper body, I definitely like compound movements, the ones that are going to activate a bunch of different areas. So first one I like to do push-ups, So really keeping straight, strong core all the way through. Making sure those arms are staying pretty aligned with your body, not like chicken wing out the side. So just being smooth through those push-ups. If you need to at your initials, like going on your knees to making sure you're going through that full range of motion. Definitely recommend that. Second one I got for you here, you can use bands or dumbbells and do rows. I prefer to do bent over rows. They just, I find they just activate the back muscles a little better. So bent over and just really flexing, trying to bring those shoulder blades together. And once again, keeping that core really tight on these as well. And third one I like to do as well, your shoulders, you definitely want them to be strong for running. So overhead presses, you could do this with a band or dumbbells would be fine as well. So those are just some upper body ones I like to do. I find especially as you do those, you'll find you feel stronger late in the run and can really drive those arms, and you have a strong core to kind of support that speed, especially late in a race. You'll find that really important. In terms of some lower body exercises, I like to do a lot of single leg stuff, just because I find running is such a single leg sport. So really isolating those single legs, and you'll find you may have a weak side, and just working on balancing those out, because if you have a run leg that's not putting out as much power, form tends to break down over time, or you have an area that might be a little more susceptible to injury. So first one I like to do, just get in that glute bridge, really drive in here and just driving that glute up, single leg, and same thing, just driving really with that glute, and you kind of want to be on your heel right here. That'll be helpful in allowing you to really get that glute activation. Next one I like to do is single leg Romanian deadlifts. This is a great one for the hamstrings. So what you do, you don't need to necessarily use weights, but you'll go on a single leg here and you just hinge at the hip, and you'll want to come out to this straight out spot right here. And you'll really feel it activate in that leg that's planted in the hamstring. So you just come back there, and these are your Romanian deadlifts. So you can see my puppy loves them. Next one, pretty common one, squats. You could either do it weighted or non-weighted, but I like to go kind of in the front rack position, just because then it forces you to kind of keep that upper body nice and straight. Once again, core straight, but you want to get deep down in that lunge, powerful out of it. So those are lunges or squats. And then the final one I have for you, you could either do them forward or backwards, but just lunges, going into that lunge position, kind of 90 degrees on both the legs. You can just go straight up and down, or you have the option of doing step like this. And once again, same cue, always staying strong through the core and straight up. Next one I have for you, some core ones. So core is so important. It ties that upper and lower body together and allows you to, especially late in a race, if you don't have a strong core, you kind of get a little uncoordinated between your upper and lower body. So core, these are three of my favorite ones. So first one, these are called bird dogs. So essentially what you do here, you're just in this tabletop position, and it's an opposite arm, opposite leg. So what you're doing, you'll really feel the core activate through here. So making sure you're really reaching out with both that toe and that arm. And then you just bring it back. You only hold it for about a second here. But you just keep alternating arms, alternating legs. And those are bird dogs. Second one would be planks. These are a pretty common one. But just making sure you're staying nice and straight through the back. Here, I'll come on this side. Nice and straight through the back, all the way through. Think of like a rod right through your spine there, keeping a neutral spine. You don't have to do it for super long. Something as long as 30 seconds is great for it. Same thing with side planks. So you're just on the side arm and just making sure you're really straight through the body here. And if you drive that hip up, you'll really feel it in the lower oblique here. So doing those front planks and those two side planks, I think you'll get a lot out of those. And then the final one I like is either V-tucks or V-sits. So V-sits would be where you actually come all the way and bring the toes together. But you could also just do it where you drive up to the knees. So like I was mentioning, if you go through those workouts and do like 2 to 3 sets of them and you do 10 reps of each exercise, the planks, you could do like 30 seconds of each of them, a couple rounds through. I think you'll find it'll go a long way in helping you be a lot more solid through and kind of prevent injuries as well. So that was my kind of tidbit on strength training for today. So if anybody has any questions right now, you can definitely let me know. Once again, this will be shared in the group. So if anybody wants a reference of this, not a problem. Thanks for joining me this week, and I'll see you every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Same Zoom link is good to go. So hope you'll join us. Bye.